And welcome back to SWBA Today. And in today's episode, we are doing Game 5 previews as we have 4 games set to take place tonight. And so let's go ahead and jump into it. Starting with the early game, we got the Indiana Pacers versus the Milwaukee Bucks. Currently, the Indiana Pacers are up in this series 3-1. We got the Milwaukee Bucks coming on the road. And so I think that the first thing to look for in this game is going to be the response from the Milwaukee Bucks. I think that obviously this team has gone through a lot with the Damian Lillard situation and him being out for the season. And so emotionally, I want to see what type of team we're going to see from the Milwaukee Bucks, as this is a win or go home situation. And so I think that that's point one. Point number two, you're looking at it on the screen. Defensively, what the Pacers have done against Giannis has been outstanding. You're seeing that, look, they've been throwing multiple defenders at him. They've been throwing zone looks at him. They've been throwing just one-on-one type of looks. They're shading him to the baseline and all kinds of stuff. Like, they're just giving Giannis all kinds of different looks. And so even though Giannis is scoring, it's been tough scores. And in the tough misses, the Pacers are doing a terrific job as far as cleaning up the board and then going on about their business on the offensive end. And they've been maximizing these possessions. And so defensively, this is going to be the key for the Pacers to close out the game. They're going to have to continue to make things difficult for Giannis, make him earn everything, and continue to take away the others for the Milwaukee Bucks. Next, I think another thing that we must look for in this game is going to be the Indiana Pacers and their others. It has been their bench that has been outstanding for the Pacers. We talk about Pascal Siakam. We talk about Miles Turner. We talk about Tyrese Halliburton, but Obi Toppin, Jarris Walker, TJ McConnell, like these guys coming off the bench have been outstanding for the Pacers. And I think that that has really been the big difference in the series, that the Pacers are a much deeper basketball team than a lot of people will give them credit for. And so, look, I think that the Pacers are going to find a way to close out this series tonight. I really do. I love their offense. I love the way that it's clicking. But I think defensively, this team has taken another step forward from their last year's team. And I think that if their last year's team made a deep run in the SWBA playoffs, I certainly think that this team might be poised to do so as well. We'll see what happens, but I do think that the Pacers are going to take care of the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't think that they're going to get enough from their supporting cast talking about the Bucks. And I think that, look, even if Giannis goes for 50 tonight, it is not going to be enough to beat a complete team with the Indiana Pacers. And so next up, the next game that is coming up after them is going to be the New York Knicks versus the Detroit Pistons. And so, look, I had the Pistons in 7, and I think that I probably would be right on par with this had this last call in game 4 not happened. And so if you didn't get a chance to see that, Tim Hardaway Jr. Goes up for a shot late. Definitely looks like that there is some contact, and it's from Josh Hart. No foul called. And later on, the refs come out and say that there should have been a foul called. I think that if Tim Hardaway goes to the free throw line, he makes 2 of those, the Pistons win. Suddenly it's a 2-2 series. Instead, no call. It's now 3-1. And so that is it really favors just hugely to the team that goes up 3-1. And so the team that's up 3-1, generally they're able to take care of business in the series. And so that's what the Knicks have, and they're going home. And so I think that that's going to be key number 1. The Knicks are going to be home. Number 2, I think that when you're looking at the stars for the Knicks, they've really come alive, I think, the last couple games. Jalen Brunson is starting to get downhill. Even if he's not getting the calls, he's finishing a little bit more. He's hitting clutch shots and things like that, which is what Jalen Brunson does. That is why he was the clutch player of the year in the SWBA. So he's woken up. And then you have Karl Anthony Towns. He's knocking down 3-pointers. I think that he was hitting clutch shots in this last game. He also hit clutch shots the game before. And so they've been able to withstand the Pistons and their late runs and things like that. And so the Pistons, to me, they're right there, but they just haven't put together, I think, a complete game. And that's what they're going to have to do in this game. They're going to have to come out. They're going to have to put a complete game together and try to get a game and get it back to Detroit. And so this team is very capable. I think that Cade Cunningham has also gotten better as the series has gone along. He looks like he's playing in regular season games, which is huge, especially for a player that has never been in the SWBA playoffs. So I've been thoroughly impressed with him. But the Pistons, look, you wonder if that call is going to be really the deciding factor of this series. I think it's been a very good one. And I think that no matter what happens with who wins the series, like if the Knicks win 4-1, I don't think that that necessarily really tells the story of this series, because it's really been a good series. And so I do like the Knicks in this one, but I am hoping that the Pistons can find a way to get it done. And so next up, the next game coming up there after them is going to be the Boston Celtics versus the Orlando Magic. And so I think a lot has been made about Jason Tatum and him with the wrist bruise and everything else. And so he's responded very well. You're in a good situation when he comes back from a wrist bruise after missing a game. And then he just lights the Orlando Magic up for 36 points or so. And so, look, the Celtics are in a good situation as far as scoring the basketball. I think that Jaylen Brown, he's looked very good, especially coming off the knee injury. Jason Tatum looks good off the wrist injury. Porzingis is healthy right now. They've gotten some good bench play from Peyton Pritchard, and so he's been terrific. Al Horford, like they're getting some great contributions, and I think that that is really the difference in this series, is that the Celtics are just more complete as a team than the Orlando Magic. And also, too, the pace and play, it really is something that the Celtics can overcome, because the Celtics can play into this kind of grinded out style and find ways to win. The Orlando Magic are not that type of team. They often defend well, but they go on these scoring droughts. And that's something that they're going to have to really address in the offseason, because they have two talented players. And I think that they have some young pieces, and they're just much too talented of a team to be going on these scoring droughts. And so it's great defensively that that's a calling card, but this team has got to figure out a way to score points. Unfortunately, I don't think that they're going to score some points here against the Celtics, who are going home. And I think for the Celtics, this is an important game. They need to win this game, because we haven't talked about it on SWBA Today, but Drew Holiday has been out since game 2. He's got a hamstring strain. For the Celtics to make a deep push and to perhaps repeat as champions, they're going to need Drew Holiday. And so they need to get as much rest as possible. That means you need to take care of the Orlando Magic. You need to start to get the rest process going so you can hopefully get Drew Holiday back maybe earlier in that series, because you're going to need him if you're going to go up against the Cleveland Cavaliers and get out of the Eastern Conference. And so next, the next game and the last game of the night, that's going to be the Denver Nuggets versus the Los Angeles Clippers. And so talked about this one a little bit on SimWorld Today, and just how this series has been one of those ones where you can't really put your finger on it, but it's something strange here. And I don't understand why the Clippers are in this situation when I think that they have the better team. You've got, I think, a player that is playing at a high level with Kawhi Leonard. I think that James Harden coming into this thing is probably playing some of his best basketball that I've seen in maybe the last 3, 4, 5 seasons. I don't know what it is, but he's been on a heater. And then Zubac as well has been terrific, and just so many other pieces that the Clippers have. And to be in a series knotted up with the Denver Nuggets, who they do not have a bench. It's just incredible to me that the Nuggets and their starters have played 40 plus minutes several times in this series. And I'm saying, how do the Clippers have more bodies to throw at the Nuggets, but they cannot find enough separation in these games, and they're not up really significantly in this series? And that's why I worry about the Clippers tonight. And I think that if you give Nikola Jokic, you give Jamal Murray this type of opportunity, I think that they find a way to get a pivotal game in this series. And I think that if the Nuggets are able to cut down the turnovers, that seems to be a key in this series. I think that they learned probably from, 2 games ago where they gave up the basketball way too much, and that cost them. So if they cut down the turnovers, you're probably getting Russell Westbrook back. I'd have to look at the update there. But even without Russell Westbrook, key stat here is this team is actually 7-0 without Russell Westbrook, which is incredible because he's the best bench player. And so I like the Nuggets. I like their championship experience. And I know that Kawhi Leonard has been there before. I just like the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are going to take care of business. The triple-double from Jokic. Somehow you get something from Jamal Murray. We know what the other starters are going to do. And I just feel like if Russ, who's been a little bit of an X factor in this series, comes out and he's still himself and he scores double figures and really continues to put a lot of pressure onto the Clippers defense, this is a game that the Nuggets can have. Being up 3-2, with 2 games to win 1, I like the Nuggets' chances more than I like the Los Angeles Clippers there. And so, anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking. Do you feel like that the Los Angeles Clippers are going to go to Denver and they're going to get a game and they're going to take control of the series and make it 3-2? Or do you feel like it's going to be the Nuggets? Next up, with the Boston Celtics and the Orlando Magic, do you feel like the Magic will find a way to get a game in Boston somehow and get it back to Orlando? Or do you feel like the Celtics are going to take care of business, much like the Cleveland Cavaliers did a day ago? Next up, what do you guys think about the Detroit Pistons and the New York Knicks? Remember, the Knicks are going home and the Pistons have beat them once there. Do you feel like the Pistons are going to get a game to make this now 3-2? Or do you feel like it is going to be the Knicks, Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns? These guys have been coming on and they're going to find a way to end the Pistons season. And lastly, what are you guys thinking about the Milwaukee Bucks and the Indiana Pacers? 3-1. The Pacers are up in this series. You got the Bucks down 3-1, obviously, but Damian Lillard out, probably an emotional kind of drain to this team. Are the Milwaukee Bucks going to get some help from the others? That seems to be an issue throughout this series. I think that the Milwaukee Bucks are probably headed to a tough offseason, but let me know, do you think the Bucks get a game here, or do the Pacers in the Bucks season? And so I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. And so stay tuned for more SWBA Today as that drops daily. And also too, with Clutch Time, we are going to be talking a lot more hoop stereos. So make sure that you stay tuned in to that. And as we always say, see the game and be the game. We'll see you on the next one. All right, peace.